Well, it's June 18. Good morning. That's the trail right now. I got into camp at about 9 o'clock, and there's a lot of space, but everybody was asleep in their bags, and they weren't going to move. And I forced myself in. I was like, I did not want to be that rude, but I had to. There's no way that I was going to go hike another 5 miles when they can move 2 or 3 inches. You know, the sacrifice of 2 or 3 inches to keep me from freezing to death, I feel is worth it, but maybe they don't feel that I'm worth it. One lady said, "Did you have to hike in at 9 at night?" I don't know, what a bitch. Anyway, this trail is just awesome. And it's not gonna stop being awesome because we're in Vermont. It's overgrown really badly. You can, the trail's overgrown right away when you hit the Massachusetts line, you know. It's like, whoa. You can tell that they don't have trail maintainers out here for 4 or 5 years now, because it's like growth from 4 or 5 years old, you know. It's like there's no way this is a year's worth of growth. You got small trees growing on the trail, for God's sakes. So they need a young crew out here or something. They need to get some help. Some people need to volunteer. Let me turn this around. What I'm enjoying. I was soaked all the way through the bone last night, and I climbed into my sleeping bag with my wet clothes on, and I threw a park on, which is my only other safety device to keep me from This isn't safe to film, so I'll go ahead and turn it off. But anyway, I put some more miles in today. Video the Vermont bogs. Another beautiful day in paradise. It is just, most of the rain comes from having to try to get through this overgrowth. Look at the trail. This is not a tree that took a year to grow. That's been there. That has been there for a while. You know, 3 or 4 years. They need to come in here with some loppers and lop some stuff. Like, that doesn't need to be there. We get Betsy out here, she'll straighten them out. But anyway, it doesn't seem to want to stop raining. And even if it does, you know, the water down here from the branches hitting you is going to make you soaking wet anyway. Love that word anyway, apparently. There is a hotel at the next town, which is about 10 miles away, that will pick you up from the trail. Charge about $90 to stay there. But what's happening now is I'm getting section hikers and they're crowding me out. They crowded me out last night at the shelter. If I'd gone another 5 miles to the next shelter, I might face the same exact problem. Another crowd out, you know. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. So I had to force them over a little bit. I went head to toe, so it didn't take up as much room. I gotta put this away. Well, I passed the folks from the shelter just recently. I was wondering why my miles per hour weren't like kicking in or something. I do know them. Neon, I know the one guy's name's Neon. Can't remember the other two. Why would they choose to section hike this area? I have no clue. I would have section hiked. If I was going to section hike anything, I'd probably do Virginia.
as it is a very beautiful state, and relatively easy as far as grade and difficulty. But if this was New Orleans, I'd be scared to death of alligators. The trail is extremely overgrown, and the only reason I can tell for that would be that they got an older crew for a trail crew, because younger folks aren't volunteering. I think one reason is there's just not as many of them, you know, compared to baby boomers. So when we were kids, there was no want for teams, man. You had kids everywhere. You want to play baseball, football, hockey, whatever, you had teams, you know. And nowadays, there's just not that many kids. And there's not that many opportunity for the kids, and they're trying to pay for all of us old farts. It's real slippery when it's wet. So I don't know. I guess they're gonna have to live with their elders and live off the elders' money. So there are no careers and mostly just jobs now. You know, if I get a nice enough house in Alabama, I can have the kids come over if they want to stay there. Take care of me as they get older. And live in the house for free. That's how you do it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the new dynamics are. Be nice to your kids, because they're the ones choosing the old folks' home you're going to live in. I think Alma, she's like 93, 94. She's still ticking away. What does she do for all day? She sits. She just sits there and stares, comforted by her thoughts. I think she's going to take all the inheritance with her, paying for that nursing home, but horrible thought. You know, when I get that age, I'm hoping someone will take care of me. It's real dark in here. Hence the dark thoughts. Well, the camera lightens it up a bunch. That trail's nice right here. It's not boggy. So the first hour I averaged 3.5 miles per hour. I've never done that before. So obviously my rain-soaked phone is not running properly. Something's given up. It is a little downhill, but still. I'm not going faster than I normally do. I usually don't time it an hour at a time. Go a lot longer before I check it. I need a water source, so yeah, find where that is. I'm gonna try to do 20-mile day. Yesterday was 28 miles, a new record for moi, and it was not easy. The trail was not getting easier, and the conditions were very poor. I could barely see through my headlamp because of all the water droplets in the air. It was inside the cloud, and you know, that's permeating everything. So it's like 100% humidity, and there was just no escaping it. I just tried that trick where you put your wet clothes in the bag with you. I didn't put them in with me, I just kept them on. Put a park on and waited. And this morning my clothes were dry, and I was warm. And the first thing was to try to get warm, because I was pretty sketchy last night. In fear of my life. That's how we got it taken care of. The bag closed up a little too easy this morning, so it's full of moisture. Everything I got's full of moisture. I'm back to being wet 100%. Just as long as you keep walking, you're warm and wet, but the minute you stop, you start freezing real quick, and it's scary. And hopefully by the time we get to New Hampshire, hopefully when we get to the Whites, it won't be too cold. There is snow on the peak still, but I don't have any winter gear anymore. So I got a summer bag, which I realized didn't get inspected properly. And so there's sections of down missing in the bag altogether. One of them around the head box, which is not good. So it's good enough for summer, but I don't think I'm going to get a summer. I mean, I did get 191 day, and the rest of the days have been, most of the days have been in the 50s and 60s the whole time. And it's June, almost July, so I don't know what to think. I remember it being warm up here in June, July and August. I remember there being summer, but this ain't it. Isn't this lovely? Can't wait to slip and fall in it. I did fall yesterday. It was a slow motion sliding down the trail fall, and I veered off left and managed to fall off the trail into that stuff, and that kept me from being a muddy mess, which is good. Dick. So pretty and green. It's soaking wet. Every leaf has water on it, and it brushes off on you and paints you with water. So I'm wearing full rain gear, pants and a jacket, but not the gloves. And I'm soaking wet, but it seems to work enough where I'm staying warm and underneath. It's very humid underneath, but I'm not sweating. Okay, I'll put you away. Nice brown water. Hoping that the trail is taking us to a bridge. That seems like a heavy fording. Not that I'll be any wetter. Rocks are coming. Big rocks. They don't move. My God, it's just wet. Endlessly wet. Wet, muddy, and slippery. It'd be pretty from the comfort of your sofa, Actually quite nice. Oh, it looks pretty good. Yeah. I'm running low on water right now, so I have to hope to find a good water source. There's plenty of bad ones. A lot of this is runoff from bogs or wetlands and stuff like that. It's not really choice stuff, like coming out of a spring or something. Let me put it away. So we just came down a pass. You hear Route 9 in the background. It's pretty steep, slippery rocks. And here we are again. Going back up, right? That's the weirdest place ever. We're heading back up on the other side. So similar rocks, soaking wet. Very wet. These aren't steep right now, that's why I'm filming, obviously. But they go straight up pretty much on some of this stuff. Each step you go 3 feet up or down. And it makes it quick to get your altitude, but it's exhausting. And it's really sketchy, you know, it's quite slippery. This stuff eats up my my averages time-wise for miles per hour. I'm gonna try, it's like 1 o'clock-ish. I'm gonna try for 10 more miles to get to an old shelter. Hopefully I won't be there so late that it'll be packed again like last night. I don't want to set up the tent, it's still wet. I'd like to be in the shelter alone. I've had several times where I was the only one in the shelter on this journey. Last time, not so much. Everybody was there. So, there's a 12-person shelter and they had 9 people in there. So there was room, just a matter of scooching a little. But hopefully I get there and not have a lot of people in the shelter so that I can do things like hang my tent to drip dry a little bit. It won't dry because we're in fog, you know. Can't do it. It's nice moderate climb right now. I'm sure it's going to change soon. I got my rain gear off, including the pants, which means I'm going to get mud all over my pants instead of the rain gear. So be it. We continue to enjoy the jungle. The canopy isn't dripping. Normally it drips. But the other thing is so wetted out and so nasty that you don't hear the birds singing. So you know it's bad when you don't hear the birds singing, because they've been a constant roar, except when it gets real wet. So I guess they're not happy enough to sing. Whew. Vermont needs trail maintainers bad. Anyway, we'll put you away. Continue going up. Yeah. Little path that goes around it. But what do they want? You gotta go through it, because that's so cool. Not so bad on this one. There, I went through it. But I could have gone around it. Oh, there it goes. I'm just listening to a bird. Let's see if we can play it again. There we go. Very bizarre, long song. Pretty low. I don't know if you could hear that or not. We tried. Yes. Yes, it is what you think. For a second there, you saw sunlight. Actual sunlight. On a day when it's supposed to really rain. It did this morning. It rained super hard. And it let up around 9 o'clock and hasn't rained since. Tried to rain on me at lunchtime, but it was just a little warning. shot across the bow. We just crossed a raging river. We like to keep it a wilderness. We don't cut the logs off the trail and we don't build bridges. Oh my God, seriously. Because we need to preserve the bog. Bog preservation. I wonder how many hikers are down in there. Pull them up as bog mummies later. Well, we're still trekking. We're shy on the blazes out here. Especially when there's an intersection, you need one. But the trail's in good shape. There's not as much overgrowth, you know, not bushwhacking as much as there was before we crossed the Highway 9 there. Highway 9 in Massachusetts is a nightmare. Absolute freaking nightmare. Lovely. But we're getting it done. Somehow miles are being gotten. I'm learning how to get through this stuff, ish. It's relentless. And it's extremely slippery. And some of it's really deep. And you don't know when it's going to hit. You just don't care. It's happened so many times already. You just keep moving if you can. And you can. Some people just capitulate and walk right down the middle. I am not one of those yet. Just did then. Not pleasant. Yeah, but the feet don't get too bad. I'm wearing sealskins over regular wool socks. They seem to give me an added layer of comfort. Got about a 3,000 foot or mountain to hit here, of which I've done maybe 1,000 feet of. Maybe a little more, I don't know. Keep coming down. So there's 1,000 feet of descent. So I have 4,000 feet of elevation change just with this afternoon alone, the last 10 miles. I seem to be handling it. The feet to miles ratio is up in the 400s, which means it's moderate to difficult. And I like to keep track of those things to say, oh, well, okay, that's what this feels like, and that's what that feels like. What you do is you pre-mud your feet in the slime here, and then you walk on the slippery boards. That's how we do it. I take real small steps because if I try to go bigger steps, I start leveraging on the feet. That looks so safe. You see the water under this board? Yeah. Wish they'd put the boards where they're needed. But I wonder if that changes all the time. Because it's constantly moving where the bog is. Would make sense if it did. There's a living forest. There are railroad ties on this one. All right, use 2 hands here. Bye.